Trejo, and I have the privilege of serving the community of Pukoima. They have graciously allowed me to be the founding site director of iLead Pukoima. I'm part of the team that has urgently but humbly submitted a charter petition for approval as iLead San Fernando Valley. Thus far, we have honestly answered every question transparently. We've revised the petition as requested by the Charter School Division, and we will continue to do so every step of the way. I am here representing staff, families, and most importantly, learners from multiple sites. Learners like Alexi, Daniel, Jack, and Auguste, who as sixth graders designed a rigorous microgravity experiment that actually flew into space to be conducted by astronauts on the International Space Station. Learners like Emma in seventh grade, who when learning that archery equipment did not exist for little people like her, reached out to advocate to Easton Athletics with her science teacher and archery coach and convinced them to design her a custom bow so she could be a part of our award-winning archery team. Learners like Sophie, who were so inspired by the Women's March last year that she designed and created a pro-women's right keychain as part of her entrepreneur project at school. She's raised over $5,000 to date and donated 51% of the profits to Planned Parenthood. If you ask Sophie why 51%, she will tell you that 51% of the world's population is female. Learners like Morgan and Sammy, who you will hear from today, and Ren, who found their voice and felt safe to identify as non-binary in a binary world. Sammy and Morgan went on to create an LGBTQ+ club at school where all are welcome. And Ren is now beginning hormone treatment and thriving at Agora High School. And learners like Mercedes in second grade, whose humble and hardworking abuelita is seeking asylum for Mercedes and her sister Fatima. When Mercedes and her sister arrived in the United States, their grandmother asked friends and family, "Where can I take these girls that have already been through so much? I need a place that will keep them safe, that will love them, that will grow them as human beings." And the people she trusted said, "Take them to iLead." I can go on with stories like this for days, and believe me, some people say I do. But I'm not too prideful to beg you to just come see it with your own eyes. Before you vote in March, I ask for that, please. You will come, you will see learning environments that are inclusive, that push rigor through project-based learning, that explicitly facilitate social-emotional growth. You'll see learners with IEPs that are supported and empowered to be leaders and are integrated fully in the classroom. We welcome your feedback. Give it to us. Push us to be better. Bring us to the table like Dr. Ref was asking. We want to be part of the solution. We are not the boogeyman. We want to help you understand why families are choosing us. And I want to remind you, we're all here for the same reason. We believe that access and choice of public schools that are high quality should not be something that only goes to people that can afford private schools. It's a civil rights issue. It's a social justice issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Brian Kennelly. After Mr. Kennelly, Albert Sanchez.
Good morning. Sorry, I get really emotional. My son goes to iLead Encino and has an IEP and has his own challenges. I'll read from a statement. My wife couldn't be here, so together we came up with this here. And thank you for listening. Our son is a seventh grader who came to iLead the fourth grade. With failing grades and significant problems with anxiety, focus, and self-esteem, he stopped dreaming about what he could become. Obviously, it's heartbreaking. But because of iLead and Fernaz Kaufman, the incredible iLead staff, our son is now meeting goals in math and sometimes exceeding goals, which the staff helps celebrate with him. He enjoys being the master of ceremonies for his classroom presentation, and this was his suggestion. He not only solved one, but two Rubik's Cubes on stage at the Student Variety Show, and wants to become a hotel architect. That is a hotel architect by day and a knight at medieval times by night, which is entirely possible in Buena Park. This school has changed his life and ours. His smile disappeared 3 years ago. And now he beams brightly. For over 3 successful years, our son loves to go to school. There was a time when we thought we would never say those words. The individualized learning, the close relationships with teachers, the focus on responsibility, self-advocating, and creative thinking, it all works for him. And we believe many others at the school. We ask you to please do what you can to ensure that iLead Encino serves the need of our children for years to come, restoring the potential and dreams as it has for my child. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Albert Sanchez. And then after, Marnie Norris. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Good
morning.
morning, members. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. I have 2 boys in iLead, 11 and 13. They're in 6th and 8th grade. When they first started iLead, my oldest was 13, who has Asperger. He was I don't know if most of you know what Asperger is. My son had a huge problem of running out of class when he was in traditional school. He had an IEP at the traditional school and at iLead. At traditional school, it seemed like he was a number. To me, the way I looked at it, he was a number. That, okay, yeah, well, yes, we got him. He's got to come in here every so often. Okay. But it seemed like I asked him, did you go? No, they couldn't do it today. There seemed like there was always a reason why. At iLead, they're always on him. But he likes that. My son was at a traditional school. He was an average child, but with a problem. At iLead, he's more than just a student. They actually, I would say every teacher knows him. Granted, it's not a big school, not hard to know my son. My son is 13 years old, 5'10". And if you would be able to speak to him, you'd be like, wait, is this kid really 13? I've had people come up to me and tell me, your son is so articulate. And I know iLead has done a big help to get him where he's at. They do a mock trial every year. And when kids see him, when I saw the first video, I thought I was watching Law and Order. My son was like, you would look at him, he cried because he lost. But iLead helped him do all this. My youngest son, who again was average. Now both my kids come home with A's. Granted, this past grade each one had a B. They weren't too happy, and I wasn't either. And I told them, I don't want beautiful, I want awesome. Okay? And my kids at this school, they help them and they push them and they talk to them. They have someone there, their teachers, the faculty. They can go up to them. My son, if he needs to, the oldest one, if he needs to run now, they know where he's at. They're like, okay, just give him his time and he'll get back to it, back in the seat. And he does. And that's one thing I like about it. Whenever possible, I do volunteer, I do stop by. And it's not like, I'm not a number system where I have to wait number in line. And here I ask, and it's pretty much come in. They applaud that. And most parents should do that. And I'm glad that I'm able to do that at my school, and iLead. And I do ask Ms. Goddard to please stop by. Thank you.
Marnie Norris. You're gonna pass. How about Sammy Fisher?
When you look at me, what do you see? Do you see how tall I am? Or maybe how short my hair is? Do you look at the color of my skin, the freckles on my face, or possibly the clothes I'm wearing? What you don't see is that my arms are covered in reminders, that my mind is a battleground of light and dark. So what do you know about me? Do you know for a fact that I'm a girl? Do you know that I'm a boy? Do you know that I have green eyes and a nose? What you don't know is that I love art, that I love to spend time with my friends, goofing around and smiling. At iLead, it's not about what you see at first glance. It's who you are and how others get to know you. It's the qualities of the person, their humor, their kindness, their joy, their sadness. It's not about whether your skin is chocolate or pale as snow. It's not whether you like girls, boys, or both. It's not about how big your chest is or how it got there. It's not about where you were born or what language you speak. It's about how you treat others. It's about how you act in the world. It's about the things you do for yourself and the people around you. Over the last year, I've been through a number of things, and even though certain things about me changed, the people around me still treat me the same. They still laugh with me, they still joke around, they still treat me like me. You know, the first day back at school, the first time I came out, my math teacher walked up to me and said, "Hey, I don't think we've met. What's your name?" I was rather stunned and said, "Well, my name's Sammy, but last year I was Laura." I was cut off, and she interrupted me and repeated herself. "What's your name?" I said, "My name's Sammy." Seconds later, I was pulled into a hug. I remember wanting to cry, but not because of sadness, because of this gesture. I was treated so kindly and with such respect, no one could hold a candle to it. Most times kids go to school and talk about it like, ugh, I have another thing to do. That's not the case for me. The weirdos that I go to school with every week are my second family. They're what keep me sane. At iLead, we all treat each other with the respect that human beings deserve. We won't force an opinion of what you should and shouldn't be. You are you, whether it be classmate or teacher, we will accept you for the beautiful person you are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Susan Rowdy.